Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Self-Made. I'm Cole Joseph, and in this video we are talking about none other than XRP, because XRP is quite literally, I think, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we have in front of us right now. Okay, it is being adopted as the world's bank-to-bank transfer network, replacing the SWIFT system. Maybe not fully replacing it, but SWIFT may be adopting XRP and updating their system to use the XRP ledger. It is the largest on-demand liquidity pool, and they're trying to also be the world reserve currency. All that, and it's sitting at 32 cents. I am extremely bullish on XRP, and XRP is an embodiment of the reason why I got into crypto in the first place. It's life-changing wealth opportunities. You just need to know when to jump on them, and you need to jump on them with some size. You know what I mean? Put a good amount of money into them. Now, let me say I'm not a financial advisor, so please make your own decisions when it comes to investing your money. Do your due diligence. Do your own research on these projects. But XRP should not be a surprise to anybody. If you haven't heard about XRP already, I don't know what rock you're living under, but you're about to miss out on one of the best opportunities of our lifetimes, hands down.
Cut plot palm trees. Eric Jeffrey. One Leonardo plot.
Alright, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Again, this is not financial advice, just me talking about how I predict the future. I don't know how I do it. I really don't. But guess what? I said call me when XRP's at 30 cents. Here we are at 30 cents. It really wasn't that hard to do.
Control and power. But it was in my control and power because I knew something subconsciously in my intuition that was wrong about it, that I shouldn't do this, but the inevitable serendipity pulled me into it. Like, it was just like, no, the divine works in really mysterious ways. Your higher self is trying to teach you a lesson. Well, guess what? Lessons in divinity are not normally cozy, honky-gory messages. They're not going to be simple. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be the most treacherous, painful, agonizing, and even depressing, or just excruciating even sometimes. I got hit by 2 cars and ran over it. And you'd be like, what kind of control do you have, Eric? That made me stronger than I've ever been before, ever since that. I mean, you know,
When we talk about the internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
Change is behind all great achievements.
We are at a historic turning point.
It allowed us to go from ideas to space.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
The progress Ripple's making for the industry is moving the whole revolution forward. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. Big time move in XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over SWIFT one day?
Well,
If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell so you don't miss any new videos.
From the beginning of time, each passing age has left behind some vital knowledge, improving its earlier marvels and developing newer miracles.
We are living in the age of disruption. Times of change, not seen in generations. Companies like Uber, Netflix, Amazon, and all other game-changing technologies have disrupted their respective industries. So after all the major industries have changed, it was time for the king of industries to be disrupted. Let's face it, physical money is becoming like this, relics of a different age, and soon will only be found in places like this. In other words, hard cash is disappearing. It's becoming digital, transferred by things like these. Today, we can send and receive information instantly, yet the same can't be said when it comes to sending money. We're still stuck in the past. Due to the ongoing global pandemic, which continues to force many businesses into the digital realm, real-time payments are becoming more important than ever. This is a $1 trillion problem.
We all know what this is. It's money. And people like you use money every day.
As a concept, money is not meant to remain static. Money serves its purpose only when it moves from one hand to another and from one place to another. The concept of exchange of value has evolved over time, from clay tokens to metal coins to paper notes and cryptocurrencies, each new form aiming to eliminate the downfalls of its predecessors. International money transfers have also evolved over time, with the changing shape of money and breakthroughs in technology. The last 150 years show us an evolution in the money transfer industry, yet there still hasn't been a dramatic change in the global payment landscape as much as the rise in payment volumes demands.
As long as there's money, they have banks to handle and service it. I figure both are going to be around for a long time.
In 1973, 239 banks from 15 countries got together to solve the problem of cross-border payments. The banks formed a faster alternative to telex messages called SWIFT.
What is SWIFT?
SWIFT is a private financial messaging service that's based in Belgium, and what that means is it facilitates the international financial transactions of most of the world. There are a bunch of different systems like SWIFT, but SWIFT is by far the most popular. It serves 11,000 financial institutions in over 200 countries, and basically when anyone wants to buy or sell something internationally, SWIFT is the one that takes the payment information or the destination that the money is going to and makes sure that money reaches the right place in a secure fashion. And this replaced the telex system, which was basically SWIFT before SWIFT, and this system did the same thing, but it was much slower and it didn't have a standardized universal code system like SWIFT does, so SWIFT was kind of an improvement on this outdated system.
So if you've ever made a bank transfer, you were probably using SWIFT. Although it plays a crucial role in international money transfer, SWIFT does not actually move money. Their network sends messages between banks that allow them to make transfers. It handles more than $5 trillion worth of transactions every single day. That's a market worth more than $2 quadrillion annually. With SWIFT, the transactions are fast, but settlements happen much later. They average a 3-day waiting period with a 7% failure rate and are very costly to execute.
Reuters citing an interview with the head of global security for...
What kind of control do you have, Eric? That made me stronger than I've ever been before, ever since that. I mean, like they said, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And, that's what I would say, that ultimately that's one part of it. And then you learn a lesson. Like, it's so amazing that I've come down to this point. I can almost do a map out on the timeline, how much money I've made and how much have I lost. And it's been a journey. And all of it, I was able to quit my job and do this and that. And, for 2 or 3 years, not really have a real full-time job anymore. And then even where I'm at now it's leading to this. And I mean, whether it's $100 million or whatever, I don't even care. Just give me 1 million. And, but now, because it is going to be this huge number, I can pump my Black Sun coin, and that is a dream that, it's so crazy, because I said I'm going to throw that out there. These are my intentions. I put it out there. My desires are to help save the world and free people from enslavement, a world of empowerment financially. And that token can do that. Why? Because I am the one who controls the token. I created it. And through my creation, I can choose to pay it forward. Can you imagine if we had so much, we pumped it, that Coinbase accepts Black Sun coin on Coinbase, and it's an XRP token, it's on the XRP network? I mean, it's really neat. I mean, I know David Schwartz now. I'm actually talking to him. I showed him my Black Sun
Deu
coin
vale?
already.
É suco. Deu mole? É vapo. É pode hit Deu mole? É vapo.
I will just say one little thing that we have going on right now.
Deu vale?
I have a video coming out.
É suco.
Which can explain this.
Deu mole?
É
vapo. É pode hit
It's amazing. So be it. It is so.
Deu mole?
É vapo. market. If you're listening to me and you're hearing
A
this now,
3-day waiting period with a 7% failure rate and are very costly to execute.
Reuters citing an interview with the head of global security for SWIFT in which that official says that since the famous Bank of Bangladesh hacking incident earlier this year, there have been a meaningful number of other attacks on client banks, that is, banks that use the SWIFT financial messaging system. He's also saying that about a fifth of those hacking attempts have resulted in stolen funds. That's according to...
At the end of the day, we're talking about a system that was created 50 years ago. A settlement time of 48 hours might have been great in the 70s, but in 2020, we're in need of a better solution. It's time for a new standard.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication. Do you think this is really going to take off to that extent?
You know, we do. When we look at the world, you see a world completely connected on an information web. But what we don't have is the sense of a value web. Payments, the exchange of value is still pre-internet based on 40-year-old technology. And so that's very expensive. That really slows e-commerce. Lots of parts of the world don't have the ability to make payments. So this new technology that really is a second gen of Bitcoin enables now value to be exchanged in the same way that information is currently exchanged. And that's a big deal, we think.
If you replace Swift messages with a digital asset that moves faster than the message, you get near real-time money settlements. There's no nostril accounts, just value moving at the speed of data.
We found this very interesting tech company called Ripple that we're going to invest in, right?
Okay, what is Ripple?
So Ripple is basically a platform to allow people to transfer money from bank account to bank account, person to person, really securely, really simply, really quickly. And it runs on this stuff called XRP, which is a cryptocurrency, but basically it's just a way to get value from here to there. On behalf of Ripple, we'd like to give you $4 million. Usually people come out with the big giant check and do the big giant check thing, but we can actually transfer it into Rwandan francs right now, right here. And all we have to do is push this button and it's in your account. Do you want to push it? You want me to push it?
I would like to push it.
Bingo.
Thank you, Ripple, for doing this, and now everybody knows you can just send money easily like that. What a great thing.
Much like Netflix destroyed Blockbuster and Uber destroyed the taxi industry, this is the biggest transformation in the structure of how humans exchange value since the dawn of the internet. Ripple is the company that's aiming to make money move as fast as information. But it's their digital asset XRP that's holding the real key to the global payment puzzle.
One example is Ripple. It's a platform used to make international monetary transactions faster and cheaper. Now, one way Ripple facilitates that is by using the cryptocurrency XRP. I asked CEO Brad Garlinghouse to explain what XRP actually is and how it all works.
XRP is like a Bitcoin. It's a digital asset. What we do is we take a transaction between banks, and instead of having a bank pre-fund an account at the other bank, which is how correspondent banking works today, the Bank of Brad in dollars would pre-fund to the Bank of Julia, perhaps in pounds, and then I would debit and credit that. But that means I have to pre-fund and have dormant capital sitting at that other bank. What we allow banks to do, we allow payment providers to do, is to tap into the liquidity of XRP liquidity. So today there's lots of liquidity between XRP and US dollar, there's lots of liquidity between XRP and British pound, and you could tap into that to move value in real time, in seconds.
XRP is meant to be a digital way to move value, to move digital money, if you will. And it's really focused on that. So there are other cryptocurrencies, Ether is an example of something that can do all kinds of stuff, including move value. Some people in the industry look at that and say, well, why is Ether so slow to close the transaction? Well, maybe because it's trying to do too much, or just trying to do so much, or it can do so much. XRP is purely focused on value. It can do, Visa-like 1,500 transactions per second. We don't have digital value right now. When you send someone a Venmo payment, they don't actually get the money for 3 to 5 days. They might credit an account, but there's risk being taken by the company there, and that's why the fees are so high. When one of our customers uses XRP to move money from Thailand to Spain, it happens in less than a minute or two, and it's very accurate and quick to do so.
In fact, XRP was the best performing asset in 2017's crypto bull market.
Ripple is on a mission to make money more accessible to people all around the world.
It's a hot new cryptocurrency and it's blowing up.
Take a look at this. It is a big time move in XRP.
So is Ripple the next big breakout coin? And if so, how do you even buy it?
We'll walk you through how to buy it now.
So Ripple has been on an absolute tear.
Where XRP and Ripple have focused is really being a real world use case and solving a real problem. And I think as the market has recognized the traction we're seeing with banks, the market has responded, and the price of XRP is up, as mentioned earlier, about 4,000%.
Yeah, 4,000%. That's a pretty incredible number. And what a rally there's been for these big three. XRP enjoying gains of 186%.
Thank you, Ripple.
XRP's main function is to serve as a bridge asset between currencies. So why should banks care? As of today, trillions of dollars are stuck with banks waiting to be used for payments. When one bank needs to send money across borders, it uses the dead cash it's holding at the foreign institution to which it is sending funds to. The whole process involves counterparty risk and the expensive vetting procedures that goes along with it.
As you know, today banks, when they fund, they keep nostro accounts with other institutions. And we estimate there is about $5 to $10 trillion that's stuck of depositors' money that's lying elsewhere around the world with capital risk, depreciation risk, and all the things that go with it. And that's the reason remittances are too expensive. But if you use cryptos to do just-in-time settlement, that $5 to $10 trillion can come back home, reducing the cost for financial institutions, which in turn can make remittances cheaper.
To solve this, Ripple is using XRP to provide banks with liquidity on demand.
So we have a product which is called on-demand liquidity, and rather than pre-funding in the destination country, you can source on-demand liquidity. So imagine you are a payment service providers, you want to send $100 to Mexico, and you use actually our native digital asset, which is called XRP, as a bridge currency between the two fiat currencies. So changing from USD to XRP and immediately after to Mexican peso. This is really revolutionizing actually the way that the money is handled.
XRP is perfect for this because the average transaction costs a mere 3/100ths of a penny and is confirmed within 3 seconds. In addition, the Ripple ledger can process more than 1,000 transactions per second.
We use XRP because it's 1,000 times faster than Bitcoin transactions, and 1,000 times cheaper than a Bitcoin transaction. We think the utility of XRP is such that it's the most efficient digital assets to solve this problem. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world, pre-funded between banks, between corporates. And if we can make those trillions of dollars more efficient, we make the entire global financial ecosystem more efficient. If we can deliver a better product for a better price, banks and other financial institutions will get on board.
With XRP, banks will essentially have gold that you can teleport into any vault in the world instantly.
XRP is a fantastic currency to use for, among other things, hedge funds. We need to move a lot of money very quickly. We make investments all over the world. Our LPs come from all over the world. And using banks to move money is a pain in the... I mean, it takes a day or two to move money around the world. And with XRP, our very first close was 50 million. We moved that money in, and I'm not f***ing you, in like 3 seconds. And I think it costs 20 or 30 cents. You really need to think about that.
Their technology has essentially solved payments.
I got it.
I got it.
It's the difference between a horse and buggy and a Tesla.
And I'd never heard of Ripple at the time. And I thought, and they said, Swift is going to be put out of business by Ripple. And I thought, that's quite handy. I'll phone up Swift and see what they think. That'll make a good story for the paper. And Swift said, actually, we're taking this really seriously. We think it could affect us in lots of ways.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well, I think what we're doing and executing on a day-by-day basis is, in fact, taking over Swift. We've now signed up, well over 100 banks. Some of the largest Swift-enabled banks in the world are now using Ripple's technology. Just last week, we saw a remittance company who's using Ripple's technology. They reduced the price per transaction to their consumers from $20 per transaction to $2 per transaction, and they saw an 800% increase in usage overnight. That's the type of dynamic that Swift isn't able to support that we're able to address right now.
In short, Swift is slow and expensive. XRP is fast and cheaper to use. But it's not just about speed. XRP is attempting to take over all retail transactions and international money transfers. Trillions of dollars of dormant capital will be released once Ripple replaces SWIFT.
Again, to tell you a story, 3 years ago, we actually experimented with 12 banks across different geographies who did not have pre-funding relationship with each other. We gave them a bunch of digital asset called XRP and asked them to use it to see if it works for cross-border payments as a bridge currency. They came back to us after 6 months and they said, look, it works beautifully, but we cannot use this. And there are two issues with this. Number one, it's highly volatile, so we cannot use it. Number two, my regulator will never allow me to use this. There is no risk weighting to this, and it's too volatile. There is no way the central banks will allow me to use this. This was in 2015-16. So we went back to the drawing board and came up with a new product. As I mentioned, ODL, on-demand liquidity. And basically what that product does is, through that product, banks do not have to hold a digital asset on their books. They could leverage that product, connect with a digital asset exchange, which, mind you, is fully licensed and supervised, and then leverage that exchange to source liquidity in real time. And because the entire transaction happens in less than 30 seconds, because of the speed of the ledger, the volatility risk is taken care of. So we removed the two big concerns that banks and payment providers had and almost productized it in a way, and then we launched the product last year in October.
You see, the hard part about getting banks to use a blockchain isn't the blockchain, it's everything else. Governance, compliance, integration with banking systems, and so on. Ripple has been making the right moves with the IMF, central banks, authorities, and regulators all around the world.
We don't think governments are going away. We don't think banks are going away. We don't think fiat currency is going away. But we still think there's a role for digital assets to play in reducing friction and accelerating the speed and reducing costs associated with payments. So when I started to talk to Chris Larson, they were recruiting to hire somebody as COO. Being a Bitcoin enthusiast or crypto enthusiast married with, I thought, a very pragmatic vision of how you actually bring this forward. And revolutions rarely happen by going to the end point first. Instead, I use the expression internally about crawl, walk, run. Yeah, you got to crawl before you walk, before you run. And I think the progress Ripple's making for the industry is moving the whole revolution forward.
Right now, Ripple's XRP-powered cross-border payment product, on-demand liquidity, is moving nearly 10% of the remittance volume from the US to Mexico. $3 billion worth of value to be exact, and that's just one payment corridor that Ripple is targeting.
One of the things that we're seeing at Bitso, and it's very interesting, is that we used to dream about doing cross-border payments or remittances, and this used to be only a vision, and we're starting to see that really happening. If we analyze what we're doing on a weekly basis today, we are at 1.5% of the remittance corridor between the US and Mexico, which is the largest corridor in the world with $35 billion a year. So if you think that's 1.5%, which is nothing, but it's amazing in the dimension of what we're talking about, the opportunity it can blow our minds.
Now, why is this significant? Because we are talking about just one currency pair corridor out of potentially tens of thousands. With more than $5 trillion worth of transactions transferred just by SWIFT alone in a single day, we're looking at a quadrillion-dollar market annually. That being said, as it stands today, there aren't enough XRP in the world at the current price to facilitate the global demand that money transfer requires. So, if XRP is to replace institutional and retail financial systems, it needs to have a much higher price. In other words, the price of XRP has to be higher to increase its liquidity. In theory, in order for XRP to move value equivalent to SWIFT's $5 trillion a day, the price would have to be around $100 per XRP, and that's just SWIFT. Since Ripple has essentially solved payments, almost everything will eventually fall into their system in one way or another.
New companies like Amazon and Uber need a seamless global experience. They don't want to integrate with a new API or 3 different mobile payment companies in every country that they want to communicate with. They need fast payments.
It might seem crazy at first, but just imagine if XRP captures just 10% of the market within the next few years. The sky is truly the limit. The next question is, how do we get there? As Ripple captures more of the market and continues to drive the use of on-demand liquidity, the price of XRP will slowly rise to meet the demand due to the rising volumes of transfers. Once enough currency pair corridors and volume is flowing through the system, there won't be enough XRP in the world to facilitate global demand at current prices. Therefore, price will need to rise to meet that demand. If Ripple has its way, it will do more than knock out SWIFT. It will have found a way to make money move like information, instantly.
I have to say, this year's been interesting. The rise of digital payments anyway, due to COVID. Some big investors throwing the towel in and saying, fine, I was a skeptic. I've changed my mind. Square, PayPal getting involved. I want to hone in on the evolution of what I see going on at Ripple, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. We've seen some management changes, but I also see sort of the building of a facility that plugs directly into exchanges, sourcing liquidity, rebalancing payment flows globally.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, our vision really is, how do we make this plug and play as simple as possible to plug in and take advantage of global liquidity across the XRP ecosystem? It is so clear to me more than ever that XRP's speed, its scalability, its incredibly low cost per transaction dynamics make it perfectly suited for the problem we are solving with it. And again, we're seeing that the community behind XRP, the other use cases, we're seeing that grow every week.
Fast forward 2 years. Where's Ripple?
If you made it to the end of this video, let me know in the comments if you're bullish or bearish on XRP in 2021. Also, make sure you subscribe and like this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.
Of self-doubt, right? And I'm here to tell you, if you wait long enough, patience, it all works out full circle. So, yeah. If we continue to live in the now, because I often say, what am I supposed to do today, Eric? And you know, when I don't think about it, then I end up riding my bike 9 miles today for no reason. And I'm like, what manifested that? Why did I do that? See, I could have sat here and tried to pump myself up to do that and be like, I need to get in shape. I need to get my muscles bigger. I need to work out. I need to be healthy. I need to eat some 10 cucumber shakes and smoothies, you know. No. My body will tell me when I'm ready to do that, and I will make bananas, strawberries, and a milkshake with almond butter and chocolate. And I have white chocolate down there. I'll mix it up one day when I'm supposed to. You know, it's like there's a higher realm that's working, publishing your reality, and as long as you just consistently are constant with that flow, the nature flow, everything works out. You know, it's pretty wild. You think about it. I'm gonna watch the rest of this Rothschild video. This is amazing.
Yeah. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Again, this is not financial advice, just me talking about how I predict the future. I don't know how I do it. I really don't. But guess what? I said call me when XRP's at 30 cents. Here we are at 30 cents. It really wasn't that hard to do, basically because I was watching what was happening with Bitcoin. And if we look at this chart here that I tweeted on March 23rd, 2022, I said screenshot or retweet this chart. I dare you. This was back when Bitcoin was up at 42. Pushing it upwards of 50,000 with the target down to under 20K at about 18.5. Currently, Bitcoin is now followed that trajectory pretty much to the T, went as high as 47.8. And now we're just shy of that 18.5 level right here. I was mostly just tracking what I thought Bitcoin would do. And if that was going to happen, XRP was definitely going to drop about another 50% from its current levels, which was at 60 cents at the time when I tweeted that. It actually ran up significantly as Bitcoin made that run up towards 48K and then retested these levels here on the descending trend. Faked everyone out right here, thinking it's looking like it's going to crack to the upside and rip up above these levels. Everybody had their hopes and dreams crushed again, because XRP then proceeded right down into my target levels off those highs, an additional almost 70% just from that level here, right into this level here. And so I actually have been wanting to buy a lot more than I'm going to buy of XRP, but brief interruption, guys. We have some breaking news, and that is
XRP, XTC, XLM.
Juan Cardano,
Ship-Uni, Stellar Lumens, Solana.
Yeah, I made 100 racks off of Bitcoin. Wake up in the morning, then I count my funds. Yeah, running to that money. Coins, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, I got Bitcoin. I spent 6,000 on a Bitcoin. Yeah, I made 100 racks off of Bitcoin. Wake up in the morning, then I count my funds. Yeah, running to that money. Coins, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, I got Bitcoin. I spent 6,000 on a Bitcoin. Yeah, I made 100 racks off of Bitcoin. Wake up in the morning, then I count my funds. Yeah, running to that money.
My prophecy would be completely correct again, because I said this would be the greatest year ever, and I'll be 100%. So I have to be right. I'm always right when it comes to the initial, the initial. Like, see, at first a lot of people lost hope in me because I said that, you know, all this good stuff, and even Chantel, all of them were like, you're supposed to go up. And I never gave a date this time. That's what's interesting.
Yeah,
I normally give a date.
65,000, dude. Maybe they were supposed to buy in when it was 40,000.
Yeah, I mean, that's a sign, but then you know what happens? This is another thing they don't pay attention to. And they're doing experiments with, okay, we're going to pump it up to 60,000, 69,000, whatever. How many people are going to be smart and not be greedy and take it all out now and be smart? See, I learned the greatest lesson from that next time it goes up like that, I'm taking my $20,000 out, which is a third of my profits out. But it crashed. I lost $28,000. Bummer.
You have to be on the safe side.
At least take half of your earnings out, and that's what other people are going to do it, and they're the ones who are crashing it. So you got to play. It's like dog eat dog world. There's sharks out there, and if they're playing that way, you need to play that way. You better.
Exactly.
It goes up that high, you need to take half of it out. They're going to take half out, and it's going to crash it. So you're screwed.
If you're with a group of people who are not playing that way, then you ride that wave
Well, unless you
make some money.
Unless you have a technology that has the tools capable of transferring $130 trillion every day at super fast, high speeds, and can transfer 5 trillion, whatever, every day, every hour, whatever. That is pumping it at every time. Like, we just say 100,000 right now per token, just as a giveaway on the potential market cap. The market cap allows it to reach 100,000 per token if it gets 100% of all the bank's activity. And it will, because it's faster than Swift. It's the best.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Self-Made. I'm your boy, Cole Joseph, and in today's video, we are talking about XRP. Ripple, XRP. Ripple is the company that created XRP. Just keep that in your mind, okay? Some people think they're the same thing. They're not. Ripple's the company that created XRP. Okay, XRP is currently sitting at 38 cents. We've been consolidating down at about 32 to 35 cents for a while now. And then as of, yesterday, maybe the day before now, we shot up to 41 cents, which we hit a resistance line, and we rejected off of that. Now we're back down to 38. So, Ripple Labs created a crypto called XRP. It runs on the blockchain, completes transactions in less than 5 seconds, costs 0.002 cents per transaction, handles 1,500 transactions per second. It's on a proof of work or proof of stake system. It uses a unique node list. That was just a really quick overview of what XRP is, okay? It is a bank-to-bank transfer system and is actually was designed to be a global reserve currency. As you can see here, the creators of XRP intent was to make XRP a global reserve currency. Now, basically what is happening right now, Digital Perspectives says it perfectly. The question is, if Ripple doesn't sell XRP to the retail exchanges since Q4 2019, they've been buying back since 2020, and Jed's taco stand, which is Jed McCaleb, is empty, so he's not dumping a bunch of XRP into the market anymore. Are XRP retail investors being phased out of the market? Does that make us the luckiest investors in the world? Now, let me help you make sense of this. The main way that XRP has been supplied to the market is through Ripple selling it on the retail market, and Jed, being a former Ripple employee that had billions of XRP, he's been dumping it into the market, millions every day for 8 years, okay? He just ran out. So this is no longer happening, okay? He's no longer selling these millions off into the market anymore. So we can get rid of him. Oh, now there's only one way XRP is getting supplied to the market. That is Ripple. Well, that's not true because they are no longer selling XRP onto the retail market, but they are buying billions of XRP every quarter, okay? And they are selling it exclusively to all of their ODL partners, the institutions. Ripple stopped selling to the retail exchanges. They sell over the counter to ODL partners so it never affects the XRP price, essentially private sales. Ripple's pulling XRP out of the retail market. The taco stand is completely out. That's Jed and Caleb we erased up there. The new ODL distribution wallet-to-wallet system is what they're using. So basically directly sending it to their ODL partners and then they're sending them money. So it's not actually really affecting the price of XRP. Okay? But they are pulling XRP off the retail market, or at least it seems that way. Which means, how long is it going to be before it runs out and what is the price going to be? Just like Digital Perspective said again, right over here in another tweet. So Ripple continues to buy XRP off secondary market. They state they solely engage in selling ODL-related businesses only. That they're only selling to ODL-related businesses. When will the retail exchanges of XRP run out? And how long will it take to run out? And what will the price be when it does? If the retail market starts to get low on XRP, the price is going to fucking skyrocket. That is what is going to happen. Now, where are they going to get more XRP if Ripple's not selling it anymore? So I guess we can also get rid of them, you know, because they're not selling it anymore to the retail exchanges. Neither is Jed and Caleb. So where are they going to get more XRP besides people selling it off to them, okay? Ripple is going to continue buying billions every quarter. Eventually, they're going to buy it all back up, and basically all the ODL partners, all the ODL related businesses are going to own all of the XRP, except for what we hold on to for long term, and it's going to be worth a lot. That is why it's so worth it right now to invest into XRP, okay? A lot of people thought that it was going to be, government buybacks. Now, that had its holes in its whole theory, okay? This is way, way more likely to happen. It's pretty much happening. Now, this could change at any moment, or this could change at any time. They could change something. You just don't know. This could change. But as of right now, that is what it looks like is happening right now. So you might want to buy into XRP while you still have the chance, okay? I'm not a financial advisor, so make your own educated decisions. Please, when you're investing your money, your hard-earned money, make your own educated decisions. Do your research. Do your due diligence. Don't just do it because I'm telling you to. But right now, this is probably one of the best opportunities of our lifetimes. If you don't believe me, again, just the partners that Ripple is making right now, the partners alone. Go on to Twitter and just type in XRP and see what pops up. See the partners that they're making right now. I'll show you some. Just to start this off, a meeting with global monarchs. Who do we see here in this picture? Good old Brad Garlinghouse. And this tweet's right. We don't see no Vitaly Buterin, the creator of XRP, in this picture at all. But Brad Garlinghouse of XRP is absolutely here, hiding over here in the side. We see him right there, clear as day. You don't get invited to this meeting unless you have an important role that you are playing, okay? Michael S. Barr, a former employee of Ripple, was sworn in as the vice chair for supervision of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, okay? Understand how huge this is. Former Ripple advisor Michael Barr will supervise the Federal Reserve. He will influence policy on cryptocurrencies and stablecoins alongside serving as a top banking watchdog. This is huge, okay? Over here we see regulatory policy engagement. There it is, Federal Reserve, faster payments. Ripple was selected to serve on the steering committee of this industry's strategic initiative. So Ripple was selected by the Federal Reserve, XRP. Basically what I had broken down up here is right here. So you see it in writing that's not just mine. The ledger can complete transactions in 3 to 5 seconds, low cost, 0.0002 cents per transaction. It can constantly handle 1,500 transactions per second, 24/7. The XRP ledger is 61,000x more energy efficient than anything else that we have that could do this utility job that needs to be covered, because the SWIFT system is too slow. It is not keeping up with the modern world. It is not. It takes days. It takes days sometimes to send money across borders. We live in a digital age where info can be moved place to place in fractions of a second, but value, being money, can take hours to days to be moved, okay? That means the SWIFT system is not keeping up with the modern world. XRP is positioned to settle SWIFT payments in seconds and solve the problem completely. Ripple and XRP doesn't have to take over the SWIFT system or replace it. SWIFT can simply adopt the new age technology and upgrade their financial system. Now, that is what we are most likely going to see happen here, in my opinion. Check this out. The key is to get in early before mainstream adoption, even if they tell you to stay away from it, which people are flooding all over the internet to stay away from all of these coins, especially XRP right now. Waves of billionaires. First wave, oil and gas. Second wave, automobile and electricity. Third wave, internet and software. Next wave, crypto and Web3. I believe that this is exactly what is going to happen. We are about to have the 4th industrial revolution. If you disagree, tell me why in the comments. If the IMF, ECB, BIS, and Federal Reserve all are mentioning using Ripple, you really think the SEC will win in this lawsuit that they have? If you don't know, which if you're following XRP at all, you would definitely know, but just in case you don't know, the SEC in the United States is suing Ripple, claiming that XRP is a security, but it's not. It is absolutely not a security. And Bill Hinman put out a speech, which he's part of the SEC, a little while ago. Basically, it was the Ethereum free pass speech where he was explaining why Ethereum wasn't a security and how they judge securities as far as cryptocurrency. And he directly, that speech pretty much directly clears XRP. But now SEC is claiming that that was just Bill Hinman's opinion and not community guidance, which it absolutely was community guidance because there was like 58 drafts of it made and it was sent out to 38 people via email while that was happening. You don't make 38 drafts and send it out to everyone else in the SEC, not everyone else, but 38 other people in the SEC, and do that 58 times if it's your opinion, and then you go public and put it out there. That's not an opinion, dude. That is 100% market guidance. And the Bill Hinman emails that the court is demanding that the SEC release, even though they fought it multiple times, and two different judges have basically told them they need to give those up, and they're still refusing. They need to give them up to Ripple and let Ripple expose the SEC for all the straight up bullshit and lies that they have been fucking wreaking havoc over the cryptocurrency with for the last fucking couple months, last couple years actually. The SEC's been in this lawsuit hands down. Let's get into it. So the main reason that I got into cryptocurrency in the beginning pretty much directly clears XRP, but now SEC is claiming that that was just Bill Hinman's opinion and not community guidance, which it absolutely was community guidance because there was like 58 drafts of it made and it was sent out to 38 people via email while that was happening. You don't make 38 drafts and send it out to everyone else in the SEC, not everyone else, but 38 other people in the SEC, and do that 58 times if it's your opinion, and then you go public and put it out there. That's not an opinion, dude. That is 100% market guidance. And the Bill Hinman emails that the court is demanding that the SEC release, even though they fought it multiple times, and two different judges have basically told them they need to give those up, and they're still refusing. They need to give them up to Ripple and let Ripple expose the SEC for all the straight up bullshit and lies that they have been fucking wreaking havoc over the cryptocurrency with for the last fucking couple months, last couple years actually. The SEC's been in this lawsuit hands down. Let's get into it. So the main reason that I got into cryptocurrency in the beginning is because I want to get to a point where I'm not having to wake up 5 days a week to go to a job. I want to be financially free. Okay, my hands are black. It's because I was working on my car and they're all oily. It's so hard to get the black on my hands. Anyways, I'm a mechanic life, man. Mechanic life, okay? I'm rebuilding my 2005 Subaru WRX STI right now. So, excuses, but I hate being dirty, especially in these videos. But I'm just telling you because I'm getting anything about it right now. XRP is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity right now, and we're about to miss out on it. Time is running out. 100% time is running out. Dave Schwartz, one of the main people at Ripple behind the whole XRP ledger, is putting out some pretty cryptic tweets. I'll show you. This one right here is going all around the internet because in the middle of it, it says, pack your bags now. The rest of this tweet pretty much almost makes no sense. But people are highlighting the fact that he said, pack your bags now. Now, could he just be fucking with people? Maybe. But this guy absolutely knows what's going on behind the scenes. So a lot of people think that he's sending out some cryptic messages to us. And also he says, watch out for November 4th. So November 4th might be a huge day for the XRP ledger. Might be when, we get activated and large institutional money starts running through the XRP ledger. The bank to bank starts running. And there's no way to even really know the number right now that is going to be pumping through the XRP ledger. It's going to be a lot, okay? There's these glitches, which are very well could be test runs, but probably glitches. There's arguments both sides of that. It's never happened before, but it's happening now all of a sudden that are like, $128 trillion, $125 trillion. My bad, I'm sitting here editing the video. I said 128 trillion. It's actually 352 trillion was popping up. So way more. Oh my God. Do you understand what that is going to do to the XRP price? XRP, okay, let me show you this. So the XRP ledger here, all the banks, the Fed, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, MasterCard, FOMO, like all of the banks. These are representing all of the banks and all the institutions and all the different ways the XRP ledger is going to be utilized. There's currently only a total of 100 billion XRP tokens. There will never be any more than 100 billion. So for the trillions of dollars that are eventually, potentially, if everything goes right, which I think 100% it is, but it's my opinion, with the evidence I've given, when trillions of dollars start pumping through the XRP ledger to go to, go back and forth between these, the price of XRP has to be a certain price for that much money to be able to be transacted on the ledger a day. Now, if we do the numbers out for that, that pretty much puts XRP at a guaranteed $100 to start out with. No ifs, ands, or buts. So no matter what, you're going from 33 cents to $100, most likely, if they get the chunk, if their system starts moving the chunks of the financial system that I'm pretty sure that they are going to be, the bank-to-bank transfers, this is going to be massive. There's predictions from $100 to $1,000, even upwards of $20,000 per XRP. You can buy them right now for 33 cents. At 32 cents right now. We're down a little bit. Here we are on the XRP chart. We are down significantly from all-time highs, being up at $3.30 roughly. And then we're sitting down here at 32 cents. This is your chance right now to load up on XRP. Let me tell you what, I definitely am. Because there's a lot of bullish. Let me tell you what, I definitely am loading my bags right now, okay? A big thing. The Federal Reserve, the people that control our money in the United States, the Federal Reserve has hired ex-Ripple advisor Michael Barr as the chairman for supervision over digital currencies, CBDCs, which is going to be our standard currencies moving forward. Every country is getting their own. So this is huge, okay? More signs that the Fed is most likely adopting XRP. There's so many huge companies and partnerships coming out every single day. This is a fucking project you do not want to miss out on. This is an opportunity to literally change the direction of your life completely. Wouldn't you like to be financially free and not have to worry about money and going to a job every day? You can literally do whatever you want. I've been going hard at cryptocurrency for a while now, and I built up quite a good portfolio. But I've never had an experience like this, okay? I've never had the opportunity to be on something like XRP. And XRP's been out for a while, but the fact that the SEC case is going to be wrapping up very soon, it has to be, probably by the end of this year, maybe early next year, but most likely by the end of this year. ISO 222 is going live in November, so that lines up with David Schwartz saying November 4th, okay? The SEC case is coming to an end by the end of this year, November, maybe. Everything's timed perfectly. It's most likely that the SEC, this whole bullshit that they're trying to call it a security and sue them, is just to delay XRP until November. It's just to delay everything. It's like a charade, like a bullshit game. Because the SEC is doing so much ridiculous shit, which I'm sure you all know, lying, going back on what they're saying, fucking not producing evidence that the judge is telling them, 3 times in a row that they have to, release the Hinman emails? Never have. So, I don't know. Honestly, it seems fucking insane that the SEC can even do that. But they're pulling off. They're fucking doing it. Gary Gensler, you sneaky little bastard. I will never put a dime in Bitcoin or Ethereum. Both suck. One is slow and the other has high gas fees. XRP is fast, low fees, eco-friendly, adopted by international banks. That's fucking huge. CBDC bridge currency, massive, and US Reserve digital currency. Boom! Fire, fire, fire emoji. This is how you can get filthy rich, and we are running out of time. Running out of time fast. I have a feeling that the XRP Ripple volcano is going to be blowing sometime soon. Just remember, I told you, I've been telling you for the past year, and I've been telling you guys in these videos for a while now, you need to stack your bags of XRP, but I'm not a financial advisor, so make your own decisions. I'm just telling you, it'd be worth it, and you're going to be happy if you do. All right, we have a little video here by Ripple that clearly and graphically represents the new global financial order that is being implemented through CBDCs, where blockchain is playing a key role. More than 100 countries have announced their CBDCs development agenda, and many more to come soon. So this is big, okay? This is going to kind of give you guys perspective of what I'm talking about.
Today's global financial system is more complex than ever before. Yet as the world's economies grow, the infrastructure they rely on needs to evolve. Every nation has its own independent monetary policy and regulatory standards. But with revenue system access and legacy technology, the world's financial infrastructure can seem overwhelming. At Ripple, we enable governments and central banks around the world to create new, high-performance financial infrastructures built on blockchain technology. More specifically, we help governments build and launch central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. They are digital currencies powered by modern technology that is secure, centralized, and scalable. And these CBDCs will enable central banks to implement their monetary policies in more efficient and effective ways. The Ripple team brings a wealth of expertise to every new CBDC solution, working with hundreds of financial institutions, policymakers, and regulators. Our solutions facilitate billions of dollars in cross-border payments around the globe. Ripple's CBDC solution is based upon one of the most reliable, sustainable, and open-source blockchain protocols, the XRP Ledger.
Hell yeah.
The XRP Ledger technology is perfect for CBDC blockchain applications. It's fast, with transactions completed 2 to 3 seconds. It's easily customizable and programmable. It's reliable, having closed over 72 million ledgers since 2012. The ledger's native functionality for issuing digital currencies also reduces the need for bespoke programming and reduces risk. Finally, the technology is sustainable as one of the first carbon-neutral blockchains. Each pilot is completely customizable and shipped to the needs of the central bank by an expert team.
Yeah, really quick, this is the guy I was telling you about. Former crypto advisor Michael Barr confirmed as top U.S. financial watchdog. The Senate approved the appointment of Barr, an ex-Ripple advisor who served in Obama's Treasury Department as the Fed's new vice chair for supervision. Barr, who was a key Treasury Department official during the administration of former President Barack Obama, will take over as the leading U.S. banking watchdog, where he'll have a say in how the traditional financial system interacts with cryptocurrencies, especially stablecoins, the lifeblood of crypto transactions. That is massive, and he used to work at Ripple. So, of course, he's very familiar with XRP. Most likely is going to push XRP. Not that it even needs to be pushed, I'm pretty sure it's already being adopted. But I mean, guys, XRP is ISO 222 compliant. Well, technically, I heard this, just found this out. Apparently, the company Ripple is ISO 222 compliant, but XRP itself is not, I guess. Right here, Ripple is ISO 222 compliant. XRP is not. So I'm still learning too, guys. It always seems impossible until it's done. XRP to 1K. Is XRP the best cryptocurrency investment right now? I believe so personally. Besides maybe QNT, Quant is definitely up there with it. XRP to become the world reserve currency, which can literally happen any second. Can the XRP price instantly go to $10, $35? Know what you're holding. If XRP is used to bridge all the money in the world, it will bridge all the money. Fucking rocket to the goddamn moon with the price. XRP will be 10K. Now, more than any other project that I hold or am bullish on, I believe in XRP the most. This is the gem right now. That and QNT. QNT is also a gem. QNT is fucking something else. But that'll be in the next video. I'm going to do a video on that right after this one. Let's watch one quick little clip right now of Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, and then we'll wrap this video up.
Some say Ripple could be the next Bitcoin. What do you think, Brad? Is it a compliment that Ripple could be the next Bitcoin?
Well, I think if we're solving a real problem and it's at scale, then I think it's a compliment. I think the most important thing that is going on in crypto is understanding what is real and what is just hype. Some, I think, may look back on Bitcoin and find that it was the Napster of digital assets. What I mean by that is Napster was the first to digitize music and demonstrate, hey, if you digitize music, you can do a lot of cool things with that. But ultimately, they were circumventing trademark laws, they were circumventing royalty payments, and government stepped in, and Napster was not successful. But Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, they were very successful. I think what you'll find is that maybe the next generation of digital assets ends up solving some of the original problems that Bitcoin set out to solve.
So RippleNet is trying to take on Swift. What's been the traction like? Who's come on board?
Well, it's interesting as you step back and look at this. If you and I decided we were going to send $10,000 to California today, the fastest way for us to do it would be to drive to the airport and fly it there. That's a crazy thing to think about when you're in the age of the internet and we're used to information on demand.
True.
When we think about the customers that have come on board, it's because we're solving that real problem. We're changing the nature of a payment taking days to settle to California to seconds. So we now have well over 100 customers ranging from some of the biggest banks in the world to payment providers to the Western Unions and MoneyGrams, Linlan Pay out of China.
How many banks?
So connected.
It's over 100. I actually don't know the exact number now. Last time we announced it publicly, we said over 100. We'll probably announce the next one when we get to over 200. We're signing up more than a bank a week now.
The thing is, it's not the number of banks, it's the volume
For sure.
out there. What kind of volume are you looking at?
Well, we've had one that we can talk publicly about. Is we have one corridor run by SEB, which is Sweden, one of the first or second largest bank in Sweden, has done over $1 billion USD equivalent through one corridor. So while the global macro scale, we're still just getting started. Yeah, I think we're on mile 1 of a marathon, but we've crossed that starting line. Like this is real activity in production systems where customers are really benefiting from that. We clearly have a long way to go, and the overall maturity of the digital asset market I think has a long way to go. But if we keep going back to let's focus on a real problem and solve a real problem for real customers, I'm really optimistic.
Man, 997 is my limit? That's so stupid. 997. Proceed. Confirm deposit. Bam, there we go. Another $997 of XRP. That puts me at 34,000 XRP, not including what I currently have in my ledger, which is another 14,000. Doing pretty good right now. I truly hope that you guys were able to grasp the magnitude of what the XRP ledger is solving, the problem it's solving, the real use case, the utility, the product market fit, and it is building in the bottom of a bear market. Yes, we're in a bear market right now. And XRP is building, hiring, putting out hints of, what's to come. They're making partnerships with some of the largest parts of the financial system. Federal Reserve, the FedNow system that's supposed to go live here pretty soon. JP Morgan, the Economic Forum, okay? I cannot stress enough how much you will regret it if you do not pack a bag of XRP right now. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you, you will regret it one day. This is something I am sure of. XRP is going to be massive. Just if you actually listened to everything that Brad just said, then I feel like you'd understand. But I'm going to wrap up this video here. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, leave me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know how much XRP you're holding, if you're holding it. Just let me know what you think about XRP in general. I will catch you guys in the next video. I'm Cole Joseph. Peace. For 2 years now, I know that the SEC has costed Ripple over $100 million in legal fees. That's not okay. And they're never going to get that money back. I mean, they're making more than enough money, trust me. That's not really the point, but it's just bullshit that's a thing in general. Now, look at this. Here's Johnny Deaton saying exactly what I just told you. Since the SEC ENF director won't provide any answers to Congress, I guess we have to look for the truth ourselves, which we did, and we found it. Look at this. You can see right there, Hinman, drafts/comments by column. In total, there are 52 unique drafts reflected in this attachment. 52 drafts of this so-called personal opinion that got recorded and released. What the fuck? And it was sent out to every single name on this list. 38 different people received this. Most of them, if not all of them, are employees of the SEC. I'm assuming they all are, but I don't know for sure. So, does this really look like it is Hinman's personal opinion and not market clarity? This is brand new, okay? Deaton just dropped this right now, just dropped his bombshell on the entire market. This changes everything, okay? There's no way that they're not going to have to give up those Hinman emails, even though they're probably not going to, because the SEC is pretty much doing whatever the fuck they want right now. But if this happens, if these emails come out and the SEC gets exposed for the bullshit and all the lies that they have been claiming are true, the Ripple is 100% going to win this lawsuit, and XRP is going to skyrocket through the roof because it's going to be fully adopted. Their market clarity, the rest of honestly, this is a good thing. We want this to happen, 100%. That's pretty much the news for right now. You know, again, sitting at 39 cents, just fluctuating up and down. It looks like we're still going up, but we'll see. We'll see if it bounces off this resistance again. If there's anything crazy happening, I'll give you guys some updates. I'm about to make some other videos on other ISO 220. Oh yeah, XRP's ISO 222 compliant. If you didn't know that, you should know that. I'm going to make sure to say it in every one of my videos. When I'm talking about ISO 222 compliant coins, I'm going to make sure to mention it because you guys need to know, you need to know what that is, okay? XRP is, XLM is, XTC, Quant, HBAR, Algo, IOTA, Flare will most likely be, LCX, most likely. LCX is a regulated exchange. The following cryptocurrencies are ISO 222 compliant: Stellar XLM, HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph, IOTA, XTC, Ripple, Algorand, and Quant, okay? If you don't know what that is, right now, I'm giving you a homework assignment. Find out what ISO 222 is, what it is doing, and do your research on it. Honestly, it's seriously something you need to be paying attention to right now because all of the banks across the world are adopting 222 here in November, and it's a big deal. And if you want to potentially position yourself in a place, or position your money in a place to make you a fuck ton of money, you need to understand this. You need to look at all the cryptos on this list. You need to make some serious decisions, okay? All right. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm going to say that one more time. Make your own educated decision when you spend your money. I'm going to wrap up the video here. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Cole Joseph. Actually, first off, before I do the outro, I'm going to buy some XRP right now. So here you go. I like to daily cost average, and I kind of spread them across all the ISO 222 compliant coins and all the coins I want to hold right now. Though I'm constantly adding to my bags of all of them. But right now, we're just going to throw a little bit more into XRP because you just never know. I'm just going to be careful, you know, I just bought another 246. I'm going to go ahead and send it to my decentralized wallet now. I do not hold your cryptos on any exchange. Even though I love KuCoin, don't. It's, you know, you want to hold your own keys. Now, if you want to buy some XRP, you want to use KuCoin, I have a link down in my description. Go ahead and click that, take you straight here, and you can do the same. All right, there you go. Now, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Cole Joseph. Peace.
like approval. You don't need anyone's approval for who you are standing. You know, and you don't even really need people's respect. I don't care if you respect me or not. I mean, I like respect. It's probably one of the greatest human things you can acquire, and you can only acquire it when you know who your true self is, because people will have to say, well, you know, he's not a true piece of shit. He knows who he is. She knows what she is, what she stands for. You gotta respect that. I respect Oprah. Is people calling her evil, all this. I don't see that in her. I think even if she was, she's sending a huge, great message out there to the world most of the time to be better in this fucked up matrix. So, you know, how do you want to? And then, like that old lady said, if people stopped bitching about everything, then life would just be much better. Pretty simply stated, that the reason people suck is because they're bitching about shit they can't change in the matrix all the time. We're in a simulated matrix. And that's why when I say these words like I do, and how they're archons or shadow reflections, it's changed my whole reality. I would think about things, see it, and, you know, then you got people like Caleb and Kayla who say, well, or Natasha, well, he's narcissistic because he has some ego that's it's called a super ego, and you can put any words you want on it. I don't give a fuck if you want to call me an alpha, twisted, megalomaniac, narcissistic, egotistic maniac. I don't care. A sociopath, a psychopath. You put those labels on me, it bounces right off me just like Hilda's words. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're saying to me, it's not who I am. Because again, you go back to that center point, and the center point, the 0 point. You are everything. You are your true self. You're not anything that someone else states that you are. Those labels are not you. They're their insecurities and their projections of themselves mirroring off of you, and they're bouncing it onto you. And that is what's going on. They are literally wanting you to be those things. Caleb, more than anything, wants me to be a meth head, a meth user. Like him, potentially. You know? And then, if I admitted to it, like, well, who cares, dude? You do it too. Then we'd be partners and we'd go do it together, or whatever, you know? And that's what he wishes. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to allow that, and I'm going to stand up for myself. And you know that one guy, that Asian dude that does that one show, Life Abundance, the crazy, silly one that does, like, reads from the Bible, but he's joking? It's all sexual. That, he said, and it was great, he said, you don't ever let someone talk the way that you never a walking mat. Alpha man never is a walking mat for people to just walk and shit on. You stand up for yourself, and you stand up for who you are, and that's your true self. And he nailed it, because that's exactly what I did. I went with my intentions, followed my heart. Because see, some people say, Eric, you fell into it, you're going into the drama. No, wait a minute. I'm going to make this fucking perfectly clear. I am standing up for myself. I don't have to explain myself, but I'm going to break this down for you. I am not the things you're accusing me of. You're completely wrong about me, and I am not whatever it is you think that I am. A scumbag shit. Okay? And I'm just going to put that out there, because it's not right that you're going to defamate my character as a public figure, that someone could use that against me, and I'm not going to have that. Now, you know, it's so crazy, because that's what David Schwartz is going through right now, 37 minutes ago. How crazy. That it's kind of a realistic situation these days. People are jealous of him because he's about to change the whole world, and he's going to be known for that. You know? It's beautiful. And it's about to change my whole world, and I'm going to be able to create stuff that I never knew I could create before.
There's also my personal link for that below. Anyways, I'll see you in there. Now back to the video. If you haven't been following me on Twitter or whatever, I lost $2 million on UST because I was holding money in Anchor, earning fucking interest. That $2 million was going to be my investment fund to buy the dip on Bitcoin once we reach 20K and lower. So now that UST is only worth $160,000 because I got absolutely ass fucked. And so now I'm using $160,000 to DCA into only XRP because the rest of the almost $2 million is now gone. So I'm only DCA DCAing currently with just 160,000. Again, this was not affecting any of my trading accounts. Still have over $1 million in my swing and day trading accounts, but this was just some side cash that I was going to use as an investment for long-term DCAing strategy. But what can you do? We move on and we regrow. So right now, as I've been looking for kind of the main area, even if I like, mostly what I like to do for dip buying, because a lot of times I do suck, I like to flip the chart over, because buying the dip isn't something that I specialize in. What I specialize in, and I have specialized in for the last 10 years, is going short. And if I was going to short this on the actual rip into resistance, which is actually support because this is actually flipped here, the level that I'd want to be shorting is not in these ranges down here. This actually broke down the descending triangle here, 50 cents, which is also a significant level at 50. And now it's made that big run up, as basically this is exactly when Bitcoin cracked through 30K, now all the way down to 20K. And now we're just ramping up here and we're coming into the lower level of the resistance zone. When we have this flip, this is resistance, which is actually support for dip buying. Okay. As I've been stating here, between 10 and 30, this is the dip. So in this range right around here, right, we have these levels here, all this horizontal trading action here, and the lows at about 10 cents. Just a lot of areas in this range where we just have a lot of sideways price action, which is going to be a solid base to buy into. So right now, my strategy is I purchased about around 50,000 already under 30 cents. Really, I had a limit order at 29.5 and I got filled on XRP, basically hitting the bottom, and it could bounce back up. Maybe this is as low as we go. Maybe Bitcoin bases at 20K and this is as low as we go. But for me, I really don't smell a lot of fear across the board on Bitcoin. And if we look at the chart on Bitcoin, right, obviously there's a lot of psychological support or now resistance. We have this chart flipped around 20 to about 16.5, which is kind of like the previous all-time high from 2017 range here. And also when we broke that area back in 2020, we have these pivots here. So this is an area which is definitely going to be a high probability buy zone between about 20K and about the 16.5-ish zone. So in this range is kind of similar to looking at XRP of where I want to buy, or looking at upside down where I would potentially short. I do think it could potentially come back into these levels of 17 to 10 cents. So right now, most of my DCA is between 30 and 20, but I'll also continue buying if it goes in this level. Obviously, if we don't win the SEC case, I won't be holding, I'll be selling. In the case of that, right? This is all basically depending if we actually win the case. If you watch Jeremy Hogan's latest video, he still seems enthusiastic. I am no lawyer. I don't know anything about the SEC case other than he seems enthusiastic about it. And I'm just following the charts. And so I'm putting my trust in Jeremy's enthusiasm about winning the case. Obviously, it's hard to say what's going to happen. Nobody fucking knows. It's a swing for the fence, you know, somewhat of a revenge trade. You know, I lost that 2 million and I could potentially make it back on XRP if it does win the case. And I actually love that XRP hasn't settled the case and we have this huge move to the downside in the bear market, because if they would have won the case, it would have, you know, ramped up, but then it would have got crushed in the bear market regardless. So now we're getting crushed in the bear market, bringing us down into these extremely low levels, back to like pre-20 levels, now at 30 cents, potentially going lower down to 20 to 15 cents as well. And this is setting up a huge situation in the case that it wins the SEC case, because the prices are being so depressed now. It's creating a huge opportunity because it's so cheap. And if they do win the SEC case, this allows a lot more upside just to get back to all-time highs, right? If they would have won the SEC case and that would have broke all-time highs, we would be now dipping maybe back down to $1.80 pre-SEC case, or if they would have won and now dipping back down in a bear market, you know, back down to 167, we'd be up much higher. So it's good that they have not won the SEC case. We're coming back down to 30 to 20 cents to present a potential buying opportunity, which will create a lot more upside if they do win the SEC case. Obviously, there's huge risk here because it's a make or break situation. They win and this thing skyrockets, or they lose. XRP is toast in America, which they can still survive and move offshore, and maybe they, in the long run, they can figure this out. But if they lose the SEC case, this is probably going sub 1 penny back into the 0.00 levels, and everyone who's been hodling this or anything for a long time is going to lose a shitload of money and be putting themselves at huge risk. So I will definitely be monitoring the SEC case closely.
Okay, so imagine, okay, it's this deep because I predicted my epic prophecy that crypto is going to skyrocket higher than ever. I said April 2020. I literally put the numbers together. I knew that. It was obvious to me at the time. I have videos proving that moment in time. Okay? It was a year later. April came right on April 1st, because it was just after I saw the whole Black Sun Vortex moment. March was when that happened, which was the 3/28. Well, that's my business was actually started too. So it's significant dates here. And then a couple days rolled by. It's April 1st was when I really understood the number system, the cryptic numbers, all of it. And so when that happened, this is two different things. Did I predict the fate of crypto, the destiny of that skyrocket? Because look, a year later, sure enough, April 1st, Bitcoin skyrocketed, and all through April, it went higher than it ever had been, ever. We'd never seen it that high, you know. Like 1000x, whatever. It's so fucking high. Okay, well, could the Rothschilds, like they just said in this video, manipulated the crypto to keep it up and get everybody kind of happy? Because look, that kept everybody in crypto and excited about crypto. See, it's like we're in a human experiment with this financial tool and this mechanism, this technology, and they wanted everyone to stay happy with it, so they skyrocketed it to be like, see, if you had courage and you would have been in that game, had skin in the game, you would be way looking good. So they're creating the first time ever institution of investment where people that are poor can actually change their stars like a lottery ticket and go up higher than ever if they can take the courage to get involved and do it. You have that available. And the Rothschilds made sure of that. And so did they do that on that date and manipulate to pump it and then dump it because of what I said? Possibly. It happened to be the same date. Or I literally prophesized it because I saw it in the future. I'd already seen the numbers and I knew it was going to be that date. And sure enough, it was right. I've been right just on all of the predictions that are solid. I've been correct overall. Even when a while back I said it's going to go up. And then I said that this was going to be the greatest year ever in crypto. Okay. And what happened? Bad. It's been the worst. It's been pretty bad. Okay. Overall. But I never said anything, but I said 2022. That equals 6. The climax. Well, guess what? It's not the end of the fucking story. It's not the end of the road. It's not all she wrote. You still got 6 months or whatever. We're August, September, October, November, December, January. So yeah, 6 months. Okay? And I have a feeling that we just won the SEC lawsuit. Okay? These are just commonsensical things. On top of my prophecies and my ability to do inevitable serendipity, I know people's passcodes. I can just figure out shit through ESP. So these magnetic energies I'm tapping into, and I'm thoughtless. I gaze at the sun, I get more powers. I'm telling you, we're going to see XRP take the fucking lead and literally take over the whole world, the crypto world in particular first. It's going to be stages. We're not going to jump to 50,000 a coin just yet, but we'll get to 10,000 first. See, everyone's talking about if they get 100% of the, what's it called? SWIFT. That every token would be, it's possible to be $100,000 per token, which again, if you have 1,000, you've got 100 million. If you have $1,000, so you got 100 million in the next couple of years. You have a 3-year plan, and this is like, if we know crypto's not going anywhere, the Illuminati, what they want to put as the standard out there, like Walmart, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, Pepsi, Coke, Apple. This is always have the dualities. Like I told you earlier, the Apple, and you have the Microsoft. You have Bill Gates, you have Steve Jobs. You have Pepsi, you have Coca-Cola. You have McDonald's, you have Burger King. You always have the duality inside of the matrix. Well, what is Bitcoin's second coin? They've been looking for it. Everyone is battling for that spot. Everyone. And XRP was number 2 and went down to 8 when the lawsuit occurred. They did this shit on purpose to make it like a story where that coin, that token, was the best. They've always known XRP's been the best and fastest token, but gave it hell anyway. and made other coins. Like, I got people, like, it's a human experiment to see how people react and how to control people through what decision making. If we tell them get Shiba Inu, well, how many people will do it? And bam, sure enough, these people saw it on Reddit and they all did it. Boom. Okay, what happened then? Well, they have $40 million now. Everyone else that heard about it later, it was too late. And so Chantel and these people, they put 900 in. And now they're down to 100 because, see, we put in too late. Okay? Now we're in the same scenario again, but this time we're looking for the number 2 spot. It's going to be XRP, and guess what? It's not going to be number 2. It's going to take over and be number 1. And this will happen by 2023.
Wow.
XRP, which is sort of the official name of Ripple's cryptocurrency, tumbled 26% from its record high of $3.84 hit yesterday.
Ripple actually doesn't control XRP. XRP is an open source technology, very analogous to Bitcoin.
To Bitcoin or XRP.
I have got such a big video for you guys for my XRP army people.
So here's a video about XRP and Ripple.
XRP will make a lot of millionaires in 2023 because the lawsuit is expected to end next year. Finally. And the price of the XRP token will reflect a positive result. If we win or if we settle against the SEC, you should expect XRP to head towards all-time highs and way more. Now, it will make a lot of millionaires, and if it does not make you a millionaire, it will at least 10x in my opinion. So it could make you rich. Now, also, Ripple, the company that's in charge of the adoption of XRP, has connections with the FedNow system, which is expected to launch in 2023 as well. The Digital Dollar Project also has connections with Ripple, and it will benefit XRP. And the United States CBDC is coming very soon. The Digital Euro Association as well has connections with Ripple, so CBDCs are also coming to Europe, to a country near you, and XRP will benefit greatly from that. The Digital Pound Foundation also is in charge of building the CBDC for the United Kingdom and England, and this will also have a very good positive effect for XRP. And it's not just XRP, it's also Quant Network, Avalanche, Electroneum, some other cryptocurrencies that are involved in the Digital Pound Foundation. The United Nations also has mentioned Ripple multiple times, and this is obviously very good for your XRP. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, also has connections and has mentioned Ripple XRP before, which is good, again, for your XRP. Now, the World Economic Forum, one of the most powerful and elite organizations in the world, has partnered up with Ripple to grow the adoption of decentralized financial tools and instruments for the new world financial system.
Ripple could be the next Bitcoin. What do you think, Brad? Is that a compliment that Ripple could be the next Bitcoin?
Well, I think if we're solving a real problem and it's at scale, then I think it's a compliment. I think the most important thing that is going on in crypto is understanding what is real and what is just hype. Some, I think, may look back on Bitcoin and find that it was the Napster of digital assets. What I mean by that is Napster was the first to digitize music and demonstrate, hey, if you digitize music, you can do a lot of cool things with that. But ultimately, they were circumventing trademark laws, they were circumventing royalty payments, and government stepped in, and Napster was not successful. But Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, they were very successful. I think what you'll find is that maybe the next generation of digital assets ends up solving some of the original problems that Bitcoin set out to solve. So we now have well over 100 customers, ranging from some of the biggest banks in the world to payment providers to the Western Unions and MoneyGrams, Linlan Pay out of China.
How many banks?
It's over 100. I actually don't know the exact number now. Last time we announced it publicly, we said over 100. We'll probably announce the next one when we get to over 200. We're signing up more than a bank a week now.
The thing is, it's not the number of banks. It's the volume
for sure
out there. What kind of volume are you looking at?
Well, we've had one that we can talk publicly about. Is we have one corridor run by SEB, which is one of the first or second largest bank in Sweden, has done over $1 billion USD equivalent through one corridor. So while on the global macro scale, we're still just getting started. I think we're on mile 1 of a marathon, but we've crossed that starting line. Like, this is real activity in production systems where customers are really benefiting from that. we clearly have a long way to go, and the overall maturity of the digital asset market, I think, has a long way to go. But if we keep going back to let's focus on a real problem and solve a real problem for real customers, I'm really optimistic.
You have several products. We talked about the system, RippleNet. You also have a digital token, which is the XRP. How is the XRP doing? Because we saw it surge 1,300%.
Right. So XRP actually was the best performing digital asset in 2017. It was up, I think, something like 25,000%. The excitement around digital assets is because I think you're solving a real problem. And I think one of the things you saw happen, particularly last December, is there's understandably concern about regulation and what does that mean for digital assets. From the get-go, Ripple has worked with regulators, and we have worked with regulated institutions like banks where there isn't regulatory uncertainty. And so we have found that part of the reason why XRP has performed well is because people realize, hey, wait a minute, back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? If we work with the system to solve this problem, and we can solve that problem at scale, a problem measured in the trillions of dollars, then there's a lot of opportunity to create value in XRP.
But how can there be clarity on regulation when different countries are adopting different strategies when it comes to regulation? And the other thing as well is volatility. I mean, why use a cryptocurrency when it's so volatile right now?
Yeah. So look, it's a really important question. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. I've kind of jokingly suggested that when people talk about regulatory uncertainty, it's often people because they don't like the regulation. They're not actually regulatory uncertainty. If you think about the XRP transaction from one regulated financial institution, a bank or a payment provider, they're doing what's called a KYC check, which references Know Your Customer. There's a global regulatory framework around KYC. That's at both endpoints of an XRP transaction, into and out of. So I think the regulatory certainty actually is much better than people realize. It's just educating banks, regulators about how it actually works. Now, the volatility point is also a good one. XRP has clearly been volatile, as all digital assets have been. The nature of how an XRP transaction works, though, it's 1,000 times faster than Bitcoin. So the volatility risk you're taking around XRP is only for 3 seconds. So the volatility risk ends up being very, 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 very small because it's so fast.
For XRP, you've been looking at banks. If you take a longer term period, who else are you targeting for XRP? What would make sense?
Well, I think any payment provider, we're really trying to solve that cross-border payment transaction. So if you're going, we talked earlier about the US dollar to the Mexican peso. It's one of the corridors we have live with XRP today. You can hold a US dollar, sell that dollar and buy XRP. In 3 seconds, you can move that XRP to Mexico and then sell the XRP and buy the Mexican peso. Whether you're a bank, a payment provider, eventually even corporates can take advantage of a dramatic decrease in cost and a dramatic increase in speed and how those transactions work.
And yes, Ripple does use XRP. A lot of people think that Ripple and XRP are not connected in any way, but RippleNet, on-demand liquidity service, literally uses and leverages XRP. So if Ripple wins, which they are, XRP will win as well. And the lawsuit, again, is expected to end next year, so it will have a very good effect for your Ripple XRP. And that is why XRP can make you a millionaire or very rich in 2023.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Self-Made. I'm Cole Joseph. In this video, we're talking about none other than XRP, Ripple's XRP, the XRP ledger, the legend in the making, as you could say. XRP is literally in the category of going to dent the universe when it comes to cryptocurrency ratings. You know what I mean? So it's like as high as it gets. It's like all the way up there with Quant, QNT, which if you don't know what Quant is, check out my channel. Oh, and everybody watching my channel, if you guys like these crypto videos that I keep putting out, definitely make sure to leave a like on the video. It helps out a lot. So XRP is going to be the bank-to-bank transfer network. Basically what Swift is doing right now. We're hoping that Swift is going to adopt XRP, kind of adopt the XRP ledger into their system and just kind of like update their system with the XRP ledger. But maybe they might replace Swift altogether. It looks more like the option number one than number two. The connections that XRP is making right now, the connections, the partnerships, the hiring that they're doing, they're hiring in the bottom of a bear market. When the cryptocurrency that you are invested in is growing in a bear market and hiring people, not firing people and going bankrupt, that's a good sign, okay? To give you guys a little look at what's going on in the market right now, It's currently Monday, August 22nd, 2022 at 2 p.m. And this is where the market looks like right now. This is the daily chart for XRP. And yeah, we are sitting pretty low compared to all-time highs, this is nothing new. We've been down here for a while, but we are in the bottom of a bear market. And Ripple is still building and hiring more and more people, making more connections. This is such a bullish sign. Now, this does kind of look like we have a little bit of a bear flag going right here. As you can see, bear flag. I personally think that we're going to have another drop here pretty soon. I don't know where or how low it's going to go, but I think we are going to go down a little bit more from here. Currently, XRP is sitting at 33 cents. Don't freak out if you're thinking about buying XRP, and I just said I think it's going to go lower. It's a good thing. The lower it goes, the more we buy, okay? Buy as it goes down lower, because when it goes back up, you're going to make a lot of money, okay? You understand? Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so, make your own educated decisions when it comes to investing your money. Do your own research, do your own due diligence in the projects we're talking about, but XRP is something you do not want to miss out on, because it's ISO 222 compliant, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically the messaging system that banks use to communicate back and forth, and they all have to be compliant with each other so they can all move money between each other. And obviously, being the bank-to-bank network, XRP is compliant, and it is on the ISO 222 compliant list. XLM, HBAR, IOTA, XDC, XRP, right there. Algo and Quant. I probably sound like a broken record when it comes to these ISO 222 compliant coins, because every single video I'm saying it over and over, because I'm trying to drill it into people's heads that this is something you need to pay attention to. That is supposed to go live in November. And on top of that, the case where the SEC is currently suing Ripple, costing them $100 million in legal fees to try to claim that they're security, even though they already cleared them in the Ethereum free pass fees years ago, but whatever. Not the important part. The important part is that is going to come to an end soon. It's looking very, very plausible that we're going to have the outcome of, them settling or Ripple just straight up beating the SEC in the case, because the SEC is being ridiculous right now. When that happens, the price of the coin is going to skyrocket. XRP is game changing. This is facts. Denting the universe. Ripple is the company that created XRP, essentially the XRP ledger. Every corporation in the world will want to source crypto liquidity for their business. Think about this. Every corporation in the world, one of the main things XRP does is provides on-demand liquidity. They have partnerships or are in some way, shape, or form connected to the Federal Reserve, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, MoneyGram, Royal Bank of Canada, R3 Corda, MasterCard, IBM, Travelex Bank, which is the XRP fueled payment service in Brazil. XRP provided their on-demand liquidity for them in a payment service. This is very, very recent, just happened a few days ago. Colombia has enlisted Ripple to put land deeds on the blockchain, so that's something else. FOMOPay in Singapore is a partner with Ripple and the XRP ledger. Cross Tower NFT marketplace in India. So XRP is working with Cross Tower NFTs to be in the NFT game. Lotus Cars has also partnered with Ripple to bring automotive NFTs to the XRP ledger. I don't even know what that's about, to be honest with you. That's kind of crazy and something I just found out. XRP has multiple utilities. It is the bank-to-bank transfer network. It facilitates cross-border payments. It also provides on-demand liquidity, and it is also trying to be the world reserve currency. Ripple just opened a branch/office in Toronto. Also, I believe one in Miami. Did I get that right? I may be wrong on the last one. It is on the top 100 fastest growing private companies in America. And we are still early, ladies and gentlemen. We are still early, but if you wait any longer, any longer at all, you may be priced out so far, you will not even be able to buy into it. Or they might not even be available on the retail market, and it might be only available for ODLs, which is a situation that if you didn't get in now, you'll never be able to get in. You'll never get the gains from this. I've seen a bunch of people analyze the market and XRP and the amount of money that's going to be moving through the XRP ledger, and it is almost guaranteed that XRP is going to be over $100 in the not too long future from now. Now they're also claiming it's going to be $1,000, maybe $10,000 per coin, which is crazy. And then there's also people in Ripple claiming that it might be $25,000 to $50,000 per coin. Now that almost seems impossible, but at the same time, it's not impossible, because anybody that comes on here and tries to claim that the market cap that market cap will not allow the coin to go to that price, you need to stop and understand what utility is, and the fact that utility outweighs market cap every single time it is a fact. Just stop. Just drop that completely. We use market cap to determine something's value early on before it has mass utility, like Ripple's going to. This is going to be on a whole nother level. And you want to be a part of it right now. 33 cents. Think about where it might be in the future. Former Swift board member leaves to join Ripple. Check this out.
One of the former board members of Swift, a gentleman named Marcus Treacher, joined our team to run all customer success. And, this was you know, a former board member from Swift coming over and saying, hey, we don't think Swift's going to be necessarily a solution to really unlocking this internet of value.
That is huge right there, okay? Swift is currently the bank-to-bank transfer network, but Ripple and the XRP Ledger are looking like they are next in line to replace Swift, or at least be adopted by Swift. I'm officially at 757 subscribers. We've gotten 632 of those this month. So we are growing fast, okay? Pretty fast, at least fast for me. So seriously, thank you for everybody that has been watching my videos, leaving likes, leaving comments. I appreciate it so much. What we need right now, more XRP. Here's Ripple's official Twitter. We are excited to partner with Lotus Cars to help bring automotive NFTs to the XRP Ledger. That's pretty interesting right there. Colombia enlists Ripple Labs to put land deeds on blockchain from the Ripple Twitter themselves. That's cool. RippleNet enables TransferGo to integrate with local banks and financial institutions, which can reduce processing times from a day to just minutes. Now just think about that right there. Think about that. Think about that. That is crazy. The use case for XRP and everything that it's going to be doing is insane. The price of this it's going to go parabolic, and this is something you want to be a part of. I promise you. It's heating up at Ripple. Our engineering team is growing fast, and we want you to help build a new tokenized future with us. Check out our open roles, like the senior blockchain software engineer position. This is what I'm talking about. Ripple is hiring right now. They are hiring right now in the bottom of a bear market. Wow. You see this from Ripple, and you see a bunch of other projects in the crypto world that are currently going bankrupt and failing and laying off their whole teams. XRP with USDC is the future of currency and payment systems. Yeah, Kevin O'Leary says that. XRP would literally have to be pegged as a 4 to 5 digit numerical value in order to facilitate the on-demand liquidity for the entire globe. $10,000 per XRP is literally mathematically needed to facilitate the demands. Market cap is an illusion we set early on to show value in a product. This is facts, guys. This right here is the note I want you to take away from this video, okay? XRP would literally have to be pegged to a 4 to 5 digit numerical value in order to facilitate the on-demand liquidity for the entire globe. Even if it gets 75%, even 25%. If it's 25% of the globe, that's still $2,500 potentially per XRP. So the fact that you can buy them right now for 33 cents, 33 cents right now, it would be such a shame for you not to at least pick up some of them before whatever's going to happen here with XRP plays out. The SEC will not win the XRP lawsuit. And here I got a little video of a prediction for the XRP lawsuit.
Brian, speaking of Ripple, you worked at Coinbase, you worked in the government, albeit for under a year. So tell us, is XRP a security, yes or no?
Well, you know, these are complicated questions and matters of pending litigation, so who can say? But here's what I would tell you, though, which I think is the most important issue about XRP, and that is there is a difference, okay? There's a difference between the way in which an asset is distributed and the nature of the asset at a given moment in time. And I think the issue in Ripple that gets lost in all of the discussion is whatever happened in the original distribution of XRP tokens, 10 years ago, and whether that was or wasn't an unregistered securities offering, that's what the courts will decide. That's a different question from whether XRP today is a security. And the SEC itself has said that assets can change their nature over time as they achieve utility and as they achieve decentralization. So if I had to make a prediction, I'll just make a quick prediction, and that is that there is a settlement to be done here somewhere, and the settlement has to do with the distribution of the tokens so that existing token holders can continue to trade them and find value in them the way that they do.
All right, there you go. That's good news for us, because no matter what goes on with the case, it's XRP when it was originally released is what they're worried about, not XRP today. So we are going, our coins that we hold are safe, we're good to go. It's just bullish good news for anybody holding XRP. We are going to be in the new 1%. And I cannot wait. Remember guys, we are so early. I mean, granted, XRP is not new. We're not technically early in XRP. We are early in it being adopted as the financial bank-to-bank transfer network, the main go-to for on-demand liquidity. Now that we are early for. But hey guys, there's a lot of other cryptocurrencies out there. Do your due diligence, do your research, figure out what, if you are going to invest, do your research and figure out what you want to invest in, but just hear me out. ISO 222 compliant coins you cannot go wrong with. XRP, Quant, XLM, XDC, HBAR, Algo. You cannot go wrong with any of them. IOTA, you just can't. And there's your web token. That's not ISO compliant, but you get my point. All right, I'm going to wrap up the video here. If you guys like my videos, leave me a comment, leave a like on the video. It helps me out so much, gets more exposure so we can grow faster. I want to try to hit 1,000 subscribers here pretty soon. That would be awesome. I will see you guys in the next video. I'm Colt Joseph. Peace.
It's taking over all of that. The whole banking financial system is going to be taken over by XDC, XRP, and XLM. It's going to be the queen, the king, and the in-between thing. The bank, the system, the network itself, and quant. Literally, even at this point, if you put one quant, if you got 10 quant, they're like $100 right now. If you got 10 quant, you will be so fucking filthy rich in the next 5 years, just from quant alone, that it'll be sickening. It'll be sickening how much money you have from quant.
Yeah.
It's kind of unbelievable. You would think, well, what's that matter, But there's a lot of reasons why it matters. And just what I like about it is a lot of people are completely missing it. And I'm just kind of staying kind of reclusive about it, because I've noticed even when I tell people, they just don't. They either don't care, they don't get it. It's just like when I tell people that moringa is the most nutritional tree on the planet. It's like they don't really give a shit.
Right,
they don't reciprocate it. So it's like,
they don't believe it. They're not.
And then that's where I've learned to move on and not be an empath that cares so much about other people. I waste my energy with the energy extraction vampires, their toxic darts, pulling me and magnetizing me the other way,
Exactly.
Fuck that. I don't have to do that.
Exactly, dude.
I mean, I'm not...
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Self-Made. I'm Colt Joseph, and in this video, we're talking about XRP again. Because XRP is making some massive moves right now. There's some big news coming out, and it's pretty much set in stone that the Federal Reserve is going to be using XRP. FedNow will be using CBDC powered by XRP as a bridge currency. That is massive, okay? FedNow is a payment service designed by the Federal Reserve and will enable real-time payments for financial institutions of any size in any community 365 days a year, which is made possible because of the XRP ledger. It's awesome to be in a project and believe in it for so long and then to watch it actually come to fruition right in front of our eyes. Like the Federal Reserve is 100% adopting XRP. The initial FedNow service launch will include core clearing and settlement capabilities to support a range of transaction types and use cases. Use of the widely accepted ISO 222 standard and other industry best practice to support interoperability. Now, what coins are ISO 222 compliant? Well, here's a list of them right here. Stellar, Hedera, IOTA, XTC, Ripple, XRP, Algorand, and Quant. And what two assets are ISO body standard and will be used for cross-border payments? XRP and XLM. I believe it in my heart, man. I believe it in my heart that the price appreciation of XRP will skyrocket. Anybody out there that is currently holding XRP, the XRP coin, you are lucky. You are lucky. Just like I'm lucky for holding it. We will be part of the new 1%. The Federal Reserve will be using the XRP ledger. Now, there's lots of talks of November 4th, 2022 being the date that the XRP ledger is supposed to take off. Now, I wouldn't bet my money on this. I believe that by the end of this year, we're going to see something happen, something big happen, because the SEC's case is going to come to an end, trying to sue Ripple as a security. And on top of that, is being widely adopted. It will play a big part in the creation and use of CBDCs. It is ISO 222 compliant, like I said. Here's some of the Ripple partners that will be using the XRP ledger. IBM, the Federal Reserve, JP Morgan, FOMO Pay, which is a payment service in Singapore, FinTech, Global Economic Forum. Come over here and take a look at the chart. XRP is currently sitting at 33 cents. It is very, very far down from the all-time highs, which this is the best time to accumulate any project is in the bottom of a bear market, or in a bear market in general. We may not be at the bottom. So I personally am buying now and suggest buying now. And then if it goes down, you do one simple thing. You buy more. Why? Because when it goes back up to all-time highs and passes all those all-time highs, when the bull market returns, XRP and any of the cryptos that are ISO 222 compliant and building at the bottom of a bear market are going to be the ones that shine the brightest and are going to make people very wealthy. July 27th, 2017, Federal Reserve Task Force at Ripple improves speed and transparency of global payments. Fed announces FedNow fast payment system for 2023 XRP. Told you November, now wait for it. Breaking news, huge! Supreme Court votes 6 to 3 to implement XLS20 on the XRP ledger. Well, that's fucking big. Here we go with the awesome, not so awesome Supreme Court. Washington, D.C. gathered in electric anticipation outside the building Tuesday morning. The cheers of thousands boomed through the air upon hearing news that the Supreme Court voted 6-3 in the favor of implementing the XLS20 protocol on the XRP ledger. Fuck yes. XRP for the win. XRP is the one. Everything is running on the XRP ledger soon. XRP, CBDC, and NFTs. There we see the XRP ledger in the middle of a town square. The news of XRP and the XRP ledger and the adoption is spreading fast. BlackRock will be moving 220 million XRP. Whale alert, that's a lot of XRP to be moved. XRP launches crypto-enabled enterprises payments in Brazil. See, this is literally everywhere. I don't even know what else I need to say. November 4th, XRP is going to 1 million. Thanks, David. Yes, Master, I will buy XRP every day until November 4th. It's not a bad plan. XRP on August 13th, August 22nd, and November 4th. Watch XRP. Dude, there's something big is going to happen here. The switch to the quantum financial system is planned since over 20 years, and we are ready. It could happen sooner than you think. You all know the white paper from David Schwartz. XRP will bridge different real-time payment systems. Will XRP hit $5 in 2023? I think we're going to go way past $5. Since we're talking about XRP, I've got $565 to invest right here, sitting in USDT. We're sitting at 33 cents a coin for XRP. There you go. So here we go. Market, 100%, 565. Let's buy the XRP. Bam, you have placed the order. Ching! I am constantly trying to load my XRP bags. I'll be full transparent. I'm currently only holding 12,000 XRP. I definitely want to hold a lot more. And I'm accumulating every day, as you can see. I just threw another 500 bucks in, so it's sitting up to like 14,000 now. I just updated, now I'm sitting at 14,000 XRP. Be on the lookout for November 4th. Think about maybe accumulating some XRP in your portfolio. It couldn't be a bad thing. It's ISO 222 compliant, has a lot of promising connections. Think about it. I'm not a financial advisor. Make your own decisions when investing your money. But if you guys like this channel, you like these videos, let me know in the comments. Subscribe, hit that like button, tell some people about crypto, send them my videos. Spread this around because people need to see this. People need to understand what is happening, what is going on with the fourth industrial revolution, and the fact that we're moving into the digital age, and the fact that economies are basically failing right now. Massive inflation. It's not looking good in general, and I think the bear market is going to go on for quite a bit longer. But we can come out very, very profitable on the other side if we just make some key decisions and put our money where it needs to be to make money for us. All right. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. I'm Colt Joseph. Peace.
We'll have protection measures to sell out if they actually lose. But as of right now, I think between 10 and 30 cents is a solid dip buy, especially since Bitcoin is very depressed in price action. Although I do think it can potentially head lower. There's just these few spikes at about 16 to 20K and then this pivot here. But the actual like horizontal demand zone is down here at about 10K. Okay, so this would be kind of the stronger support area, which would be a much more likely bottoming out, where this can still just be, you know, potential short-term bounce off this level, continue to ride this descending trend here. We're still very bearish on the weekly chart as well until Bitcoin flips back above what I call the trend X indicator on the weekly chart. We're going to continue dropping. If you look at the US 30 still has not made that big of a move. We pulled back 38%. During the COVID collapse, it's now only down off the highs, 19%. That's not a bear market, guys. Negative 20% is a healthy pullback. So for this to actually play out what I think to be a bear market, we're going much, much lower, and stocks was going to definitely drive down the Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin continues to eat shit. XRP is going to drop potentially another 50% from here, which is why you want a dollar cost average and not bet the farm all at one price. So that's kind of the situation on XRP, DCAing, in this range, all the way down to potentially 10 cents. Okay, guys, so we could still continue to drop lower, but it doesn't mean that we might not see a 30 cent back up to this resistance level at 55 cents in between. But that's kind of my opinion on XRP. I'm buying the dip 30 cents and lower. I'm not going to be adding anything above it unless we create some sort of breakout pattern or revival that I talk about in my Krypton course, potentially add on that. As of right now, not adding anything over 30 cents. I'll just continue to have limit orders that are open and buying all the way down into this strong range here between 10 and 30 cents. Anyways, that's wrap for today's